Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Finn React. Michael here. Today we continue on with more GoZyuger. Hopefully I still said the name right. Anyway, today is round 2. Last time we did do round 1, so we got basically an idea plot of the characters, the story, and the whole what goes on around the world of Sentai. So if you guys don't know, please go back to the previous video where we reacted to day 1. Otherwise, just check out Films Forum Studio, give them a subscribe, and you guys can catch up there. So let's not waste any time. Let's do it.
This is a full recap of number 1 Sentai GoZyuger's second arc, aka round 2. If you want to watch a recap on round 1 first, then click the video in the card. At Brighton Castle, Osai is alive but under the control of Tegajun. Bouquet isn't fond of this concept, but they want to utilise Daijujin and are only able to do so with Osai. In the human world, Sumino is working at a takeaway restaurant. She explains to Kinjiro that she still is a detective, but she needs a part-time job to help provide for her family. Kinjiro says that's a very Showa thing to do, just as Showa number 1 appears. Their plan is to teach the people of the Reiwa era how great the Showa era was, as they create a dome over the city, making it resemble the Showa era. Sumino struggled to adapt to the Showa era and is told that people lived very happily like this and that youngsters of the Reiwa era need to do better.
Okay.
Kinjiro steps in defense of Sumino, briefly revealing his older self as he was born in the Showa era, sparking the 1v1 for this episode. After a bunch of references to the Showa era, Showa number 1 wins the battle, and Kinjiro admits that his desire to stay young is making him lose touch with Showa spirit.
So it seems like we're going back into this basically episode surrounds the Green Ranger, basically how she doesn't understand what the older times is like. Meanwhile, the Green Ranger, who's 88 years old, knows what this whole timeline was like. So kind of reverse psychology.
Sumino goes on a walk by herself, bumping into Sayori and Aoi, who are taking in a Showa sunset. Sumino is able to take solace in the Showa era and sets off to find Kinjiro once more. Kinjiro is sitting alone, feeling like he doesn't belong in either the Showa or Reiwa era. Sumino talks with him, saying there's no reason someone can't appreciate both the Showa and Reiwa era, taking lessons from each. The next day, Sumino and Kinjiro plot against Showa number 1, showing them that everything that they appreciate from the Showa era can also be found in the Reiwa era, just a little different. A favourite TV show has legacy merch, favourite foods can be ordered on a delivery app, and so on. Eventually they both henshin, taking on Showa number 1 as they utilise their abilities as Showa Man and Reiwa Girl. They defeat Showa number 1 and Kinjiro takes victory. Meanwhile, Hoaru and Ryugi have been trying to find an entrance to the No One world. They were able to establish that circles are the gateways, but don't know how to activate a path.
No.
Bouquet then appears on a mission to gain their Sentai rings, accompanied by the Ari. A fight breaks out between them, and Bouquet even gets involved, debuting her dual blasters. She fires at the Rangers,
it's like Harley Quinn.
The attack in Tegasword Blue. The sight of Tegasword Blue enrages her because that's how her Rikuo merch got destroyed, of course not knowing that he is Rikuo, prompting her to call for backup, summoning Osai and Black Daijujin. Rikuo fights with Black...
Okay, time out for a second, go back. I saw something that really catches my interest.
Prompting her to call for backup, summoning Osai and Black Daijujin.
So I could talk about this now because it actually kind of works well with me. So, if you guys check this out, this is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or GoZyuger original Megazord. What's interesting about this is that I actually grew up with this one. Now, there was 2 different versions. You had the color, which all of it was the color representation, or you had the black and gold. We actually had the black and gold, so that's just so much of a memory for me.
Rikuo fights with Black Daijujin before getting overpowered and ejected. On the ground, the team come to his aid along with Kinjiro and Sumino. Tegasword then starts speaking to Hoaru, spawning the Ninja Ring into his changer and forcing him to henshin and creates a Goton Nin Shuriken. He splits it into 5 pieces that duplicate Tegasword's power, having all 5 Tegasword formations fight at once. They go against Daijujin, each using their own special move before Hoaru uses Deca Claw to pierce a hole directly through Daijujin, destroying it for good. Osai's control mask falls to the ground, but Osai made it out alive, thanking the GoZyuger for their efforts. Rikuo is practicing his choreography when he's confronted by 2 men, Kawashima and Iwashita. They both have beef with Rikuo because their relationships were doomed over their partner's Rikuo obsession. They both have Sentai rings and henshin into Universe Warriors Duo Eagle and Vol Eagle. Rikuo also henshins, and it doesn't take long before he defeats the Universe Warriors and claims their rings, all while a mysterious cowboy watches from a distance. At the cafe, the Rangers have received gifts from Osai, cases that can store their Sentai rings.
So I guess in a sense, even though they're all competing to get all the rings for the unlocked potential, there's still random people nowadays that have the ring that they can form the Red Ranger. It's kind of interesting to say the least, because I think for me, as much as it's like a team working together, everyone's still working as individuals to get that one goal.
Who boasts about having the most Sentai rings before being interrupted by the same cowboy from earlier playing an ocarina. This is Gaia Todoroki, a wild beast tamer who's looking for a one-horned beast that stole the most important thing from him. Before the conversation continues, Rikuo's enhanced hearing picks up a monster in the city, prompting the team to check it out. The no one is Onigoko number 1, aka Tag Game number 1, who says the team must beat him in a game of tag to defeat him. The team
like that one movie that was made? Terrible movie, by the way.
Attacks until Gaia shows up, revealing he has the Gao Ranger Sentai ring and henshins into Gao Red.
Oh, interesting.
Gaia pulls a kalimba out of his bag. Playing it, resulting in Hoeru getting possessed to act like a real wolf. Whilst acting up, Hoeru is able to tag all of the Ari, and Onigoko number 1 retreats. Gaia then pulls out a horse skull, using it as an instrument, which causes Sumino to act like a unicorn, despite her not even being with the team. She's able to confront Onigoko, kicking him off the rooftop that he is on, and he lands back at Gaia's feet, allowing him to be tagged and lose the round. However, this no one is a stickler for the rules, and apparently since it's now past 5 PM,
screw the
game
rules,
must resume the following day. Gaia praises Rikuo, being another Lion Ranger of course, but he assures the team that tomorrow he will win the battle and steal all of their Sentai rings.
Yeah,
At
okay.
Castle, Fire Candle comments on Onigoko's fighting style, and Bouquet teases the fact that he's a product of Queen Tegajune, but we don't get too much info just yet. We also get flashes of a lady called Luna, who Gaia vows to find one day.
Okay, what I'm predicting now, in case I don't know about it, she might be Gao White. Or, for us, Noble Tiger, the Pink Ranger, White Ranger.
Both teams arrive at a warehouse where Onigoko declares the Baraiden will be the taggers. The team start running, but Hoero stands still, allowing him to get tagged. He then summons Wolf to caliber 50 and slashes at Onigoko. He makes up his own rule that those who are tagged then become the tagger and starts wailing at him with his sword.
Wow.
Gaia feels threatened by this change of events and
oh, come on.
again to control Hoero. However, this time Hoero is able to override the control, continuing to attack Onigoko. Rikuo then blasts the kalimba out of Gaia's hands.
You had to bend the rules.
Hoero and Ryugi work together against Onigoko, so Bouquet arrives in Candleless to distract the team. Unlucky for her, Sumino instantly summons Tiger Sword Black and goes 1v1 with Bouquet. Back on the ground, Gaia tries to use maracas to control Rikuo, but he catches on and transforms into Duo Eagle to null the sound. He then teams up with Kinjiro for Duo Eagle power. Gaia's one step ahead of him though and uses a flute which controls eagles. However, thanks to the Duoja powers, Rikuo is able to swap from Duo Eagle to Duo Gorilla, once again cancelling the effects of the music. He uses this power to knock Gaia back before turning into Vol Eagle for a final strike, knocking Gaia to his knees. Hoero finishes the job with Onigoko number 1 winning the versus battle, but instead of a human getting revealed, it's another no one, heavily resembling Duke Ogroki from Gao Ranger. We get a small flashback revealing Luna is trapped inside this no one, with Gaia revealing this is the one-horned beast he's been after all this time. Gaia starts to attack the beast before getting thrown back and dehensions. The beast's chest then opens up, revealing Luna's possessed face as she screams that she hates Gaia. Demon number 1 hits the team with a huge fiery blast before disappearing amongst the chaos.
Talk about confusion of his own in a different Sentai.
As Gaia's bag burns, he passes out and Bouquet retreats in her mecha. At Baraiden Castle, Shining Knife and Sweet Cake inform Tegajune that Demon number 1 has been released. Tegajune orders the team to bring the monster in as soon as possible because he's very valuable to her. At the cafe, the team are taking care of Gaia's injuries as he tells them about Luna. Luna is his fiancée, and they work together to protect endangered species. One day they were exploring the mountains when Luna fell from a high cliff, unfortunately not surviving.
Okay, so my prediction was way off. So this is nothing even close to what I was expecting to be. But don't tell me this is like this whole Titanium Ranger Lightspeed Rescue stuff. She was falling off a cliff, didn't survive until the No One takes over and said, I get to her soul's mine kind of vibe.
Was still taken by Demon Number 1.
Thank you.
He also tells the story to Kwon, explaining that all No Ones are incomplete parasites that need to possess humans to become whole. When Demon Number 1 possessed Luna, she was in the process of dying, affecting the possession process and corrupting Demon Number 1, technically stripping it of its No One status. Gaia continues his story.
Makes no sense.
After finding the Gower Ranger ring, he chose to master his skills in beast taming and vowed to defeat the beast and save Luna, despite her having already passed. He leaves the team and sits on a bench playing his ocarina. Rikuo follows him, taking interest in the song he's playing when Gaia reveals it's a song Luna used to sing before he lost her. This is also where we learn that the reason Luna fell is actually because she saved Gaia from falling, putting more guilt on Gaia. Demon Number 1 is on the loose again.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Stop him. Opposingly, Kuon shook.
I just realized that too. You know what it also reminds me of? Because they were just showing it with the flute. So going back to the American Wild Force, I forget what episode it was. It was like after the halfway when Merrick actually becomes a Power Ranger. What happens is that the only way was to awaken the Deer Zord was from music, and the princess and Merrick actually were able to do it. I don't know why I remember that one, but show must go on.
Up with a team of Ari to stop the Rangers. Gaia and Rikuo show up as Gaia confronts the No One and they all henshin, prompting a three-way battle. Eventually the No One grows and Gaia de-henshins, offering his
Looks
life
like Zanaku, actually.
world without Luna. Tegasod Blue then lands behind them and Rikuo steps out onto his hand, singing Gaia and Luna's song. He reveals that every time Luna's face got revealed, his enhanced hearing caught her singing her song, revealing that beyond the corruption, she's still trying to connect with Gaia. Gaia joins Rikuo with his ocarina before appearing in a spiritual vision with a corrupt Luna before engaging in a 1v1. Gaia's willpower triggers his ring, awakening Gao King from the mech graveyard. Howeru assists Rikuo, creating Tegasod's Star Lion duet, and together with Gao King, they're able to briefly reunite Gaia with Luna by transporting him inside the No One.
Oh, that's
Gaia tells
cool.
him he wants to go to the next life with her, but Luna says he needs to keep living his life for her, before slowly fading away. Gaia returns to Gao King, and they finally defeat Demon Number 1 for good. Back on the ground, Gaia gifts Rikuo the Gower Ranger ring, saying he no longer needs it, and he'll continue to live his life exploring the world.
I kind of like the fact that they do bring the old Zords back into appearance in this show. I was going to say, the fact that we've seen, this is the second episode that we've seen the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord in the black and gold version. Now we've seen the Wild Force Megazord, which is actually kind of cool.
Yugi are walking while Hoero eats a snack. An elderly gentleman finds it very disrespectful that Hoero is eating whilst walking and gets annoyed, prompting a possession, creating...
Wait, he got offended because he was walking and eating at the same time? Is that offensive? Hold on. Alexa, is it offensive in Japan to eat and walk at the same time?
Yes, it's generally considered rude to eat while walking in Japan. Would you like to know why this custom exists?
Yes.
In Japan, eating while walking is seen as disrespectful to the food and potentially messy in public spaces. It's about mindfulness. Food deserves full attention and appreciation. Would you like to know about exceptions to this rule?
Sure, why not?
There are a few exceptions to the no walking while eating rule in Japan. Festivals and food markets are places where it's more acceptable to eat on the go.
Fair. Continue.
I'm not sure what you'd like me to continue. Would you like to know more about Japanese dining customs, or is there something else on your mind?
No, you're good, Alexa.
Ah, you just made my day. Thanks for letting me know everything's all set.
She's a weird chick. I decided to bring back Alexa.
Number 1. It uses chains to weigh down those who commit an act of bad manners, using Hoeru as an example. Ryugi is about to henshin until a whistle is blown and everyone freezes. That's when Universe Warrior Red Racer appears.
Red Turbo!
They say that the No One stood 1.5 centimeters into the road, creating a hazard, playing into the Car Ranger theme of road safety. The Ranger dehensions, revealing herself to be Shoko Yamori, the supermaid of Ryugi's family who has come to bring Ryugi home. Ryugi makes a run for it back to the cafe, but Shoko beats him to it. Kinjiro questions why Ryugi is so skittish when it's revealed that Ryugi comes from a long line of doctors, and he's the first in the family to go down a different path. His father wants him to return home to pursue a career, but he refuses. Mana's number
Good
one
for
is
him.
teasing people as Ryugi confronts him and challenges him to a 1v1 battle. They compete in a manners competition accompanied by Hoero, who keeps failing. Up at Iden Castle, but there's a new course rule
You bring the one guy that fails at everything just for the shit of it?
heavily simping over. Then in walks
Simp,
a
simp,
golden
simp,
Ori,
simp.
Joe Shinsei, who asks them about the man in the picture, making Quan realise that Bouquet has no idea that Rikuo is Goju Leon, and he begins to tease her. Shining Knife and Sweet Kick then walk in, boasting about acquiring the Gingaman ring as they prepare to attack the GoZyugers. Shoko steps
Lost Galaxy.
in Ryugi and the No One and begins to fight back. Eventually, Manners number 1 trips over Hoero, who is weighed to the floor. He starts to yell at him for having no manners until Hoero finally loses it, fighting through the weight and henching, using the weights to attack the No One, subsequently destroying them. Then
180
the
degrees.
shows up. Shining Knife and Sweet Kick lead, along with Cho Shinsei appearing in a Yazer red flash. The rest of the team come to their aid. Rikuo and Sumino take on the Cake Couple, and Kinjiro summons Tegasol Green. Sumino is able to retrieve the Gingaman ring very early into the battle as Rikuo uses his newly acquired Gaoranger ring to summon the evil crushing 100 Beast Sword. He attempts to destroy the couple, but Garyudo appears and blocks the attack, continuing the battle on their behalf. In the sky, Cho is mocking Kinjiro for his
back
leg until he finally has enough, locking in and destroying the mecha. Ryugi and Hoero are still fighting Manners number 1 when they trick him into wasting his business cards, having nothing to offer them and committing an act of bad manners. This break of etiquette, Ryugi is able to give Manners one final strike, saving the old man caught inside him. Shoko then shows up, absolutely appalled that she allowed Ryugi to be in harm's way. She begins crashing out and her Sentai ring starts glowing purple. In a flash of light, Shoko slashes through Ryugi, reappearing in an upgraded Red Racer suit, this time being Reckless Driving Red Racer, complete with a long cord and spiked baseball bat. She says if Ryugi doesn't care for his safety, she'll have to take his Sentai rings from him and bring him home.
So the darkness actually makes them the opposite Ranger that they should be. So I'm guessing Red Racer or Red Turbo for me was all about safety, make sure that she stays safe and within the driving range. Is now, I don't care, I'm going to bash you with this spike bat.
The team regroups at the cafe and try to figure out what happened to Shoko.
So what I'm seeing now is that actually we can make the No Ones can actually make the Rangers what the opposite should be. So as in Noble Rangers, they're now Evil Rangers.
Before Sayori points at the TV, which shows Red Racer causing havoc in the city. All of a sudden, Tegasol possesses Sayori's body, communicating with the team that Shoko's rage corrupted the Car Ranger ring, admitting that something of this scale has never happened before. The team eventually asks Ryugi about his past and connection with Shoko. He reveals that he always felt like a cog in the family machine, working for nothing other than carrying the Bakugami legacy. One day as a child, Ryugi found a book containing Tegasol's prophecy. It reads that the world is corrupted and full of lies, but if Tegasol was to regain his full power, he would transform the world into a paradise. From that day forward, Ryugi swore his life to Tegasol in hopes to one day better the world. Rikuo senses Shoko on the loose and Ryugi pursued her, however the team weren't far behind. Ryugi confronts her and asks for her ring. She refuses and threatens a fight. The team arrive and notice the amount of civilians around the area, and Kinjiro suggests they move the fight elsewhere, so they all start running. Shoko flags this as a traffic safety hazard and chases after them, destroying the road as she goes. We cut to Shining Knife and Sweet Cake, who are upset over losing the Gingaman ring. However, Sweet Cake is simping over Garyudo for the way he saved them. Quan then shows up, winning her over even more and making Shining Knife very angry. The team...
Why is this... Am I the only one that now feels like this series is all about villains simping over heroes? And I was going to say, I feel like a simp fest. I know the feel.
Shoko into a construction site away from civilians. Shoko uses her Car Ranger freeze powers to hold the Rangers in place except for Ryugi. He gets very angry, screaming at her, which causes her to stop in her tracks. See, Ryugi's anger reminded her of a time when she was a child and she was shouted at by Ryugi's father for breaking a plate. However, at this time, Ryugi comforted her and gave her a flower crown. This calmed Shoko down
PTSD much?
gives Ryugi a chance to explain that his following of Tegasol has only made him stronger, but she still believes he's unsafe on his own. Ryugi henchins and they go 1v1. Shoko is slightly stronger to begin with, but Ryugi soon channels the power of Tegasol and uses his Tyrannohammer to break Shoko's bat and knocks the rage directly out of her. Shoko falls into Ryugi's arms and dehensions. The other Rangers are free and just in time as Fire Candle, K-Couple and Garyudo arrive. They tell Shoko to find cover as the rest of the team henshin and take on the Buraidens. Garyudo then uses his Tegajun to spawn Red Falcon from Live Man and Hurricane Red from Hurricaneja. Mid-battle, Garyudo destroys Hurricane Red in favour of using his weapon against Sumino. She then teams up with Kinjiro and utilises the Gingaman Ring for more power. Garyudo then eventually uses Red Falcon as a human shield, much to the disbelief of the K-Couple, and he then uses them as a human shield before retreating to the Known World. K-Couple then grow and Ryugi summons Tegasod Yellow as Shoko joins him in the cockpit. The couple grow even bigger and it seems Ryugi is no match, but he channels Tegasod once more and with Shoko finally believing in him, he slices straight through them, winning the battle. On the ground, Ryugi and Shoko say their goodbyes as she now understands why he won't be returning. She places the Car Ranger ring in his hand, leaving her contract with the Tegasod and returning back to the Bakugami family. Back at the cafe, Ryugi has updated the Tegasod shrine, with Tegasod making a personal visit to check it out. Up at Raiden Castle, everyone is minding their own business when Kwon walks in, revealing all the rings he's gathered. Whilst Tegajun doesn't have all of the Sentai rings required, she says that since it's now the month of June, she has even more power and wants to make a start with the ceremony that will birth her perfect world. She hands the generals a GPS each, which will lead them to individual
That's a
treasures
compass.
necessary for the ceremony, sending them on their way. Kwon mentions that for Tegajun to be free, she needs a worthy pilot and offers himself up for the role. In the real world, Hoero now works at a haunted house that Sumino wants to go to. As they chat at the front desk, Fire Candle appears and it seems his GPS is telling him to go inside and tries to sneak past them, failing miserably. Whilst in the haunted house, Hoero and Fire Candle are scared and Sumino does nothing but try to mess with them. However, Fire Candle is led to a cabinet revealing candles in a holder, claiming them as his treasure. At the cafe, Ryugi and Kinjiro are mouth-watering over a delivery of luxury strawberries. They plan
Not a big fan of strawberries. Don't get me wrong, I do like strawberries, but not like the crazy aphrodisiac kind of vibe. It's more like a strawberry would put in a smoothie and call it a day. Or strawberry syrup like Nesquik and all that stuff. But sometimes I don't say I'm obsessed with strawberries.
them to the customers when the K-Couple arrive, claiming them to be their treasure. The Rangers then immediately henshin to defend the cafe. This is when
candles, strawberries, chocolate's the next one.
Ryugi, being the manager, lets his guard down and dehensions, followed by Kinjiro. The couple beg for just one strawberry to take back with them before tricking them and taking off with the full box.
Wow.
Rikuo is then talking with some fans at a garden center when Bouquet shows up in search for her treasure, a flower. Whilst getting it, Rikuo starts chatting to her, and being the fangirl she is,
simp.
buckles. Just before Rikuo leaves, she grabs his hand and tells him that things are about to change, but for the better, and he need not worry. Back up at Raiden Castle, we see Kwon and Tegajun talking. Tegajun explains that she is an AI system built by humans, but just because she's unofficial doesn't mean she can't be the best.
I really didn't think this was a female at first, I think, after last episode. To be honest, I didn't think it was... I was like thinking it was just the way the face looks. AI really does some weird shit.
She reveals that she has the ability to create entire worlds using generative AI, including the no ones, hence why they need a human to attach themselves to. She then shows a clip of Hoero using Wolf Decalibur. Using her AI powers, she clones the sword, creating Dark Decalibur, and gifting it to Kwon as he swears his loyalty to her. The generals return,
of course,
writing down their findings before Tegajun absorbs them and emits a huge blast of energy. In the real world, Kwon arrives with a fleet of Ari soldiers. The team slowly regroup as Kwon possesses the townspeople to clap in formation. The team henshin and fight the Buraidens, even having a Decalibur 1v1 between Hoero and Kwon. But eventually the time is right and Kwon steals energy from the townspeople, opening a portal in the sky as Tegajun walks down the aisle. Kwon gets into the cockpit, followed by the team summoning Tegasod Decaclaw. Tegasod and Tegajun fight 1v1, both on foot and in the skies. Hoero is eventually ejected, and Tegajun forces a ring onto Tegasod's finger. The team are injured, and Kwon removes Hoero's Sentai ring, right before Tegajun forces Tegasod into a kiss, corrupting the skies and birthing a new godlike mecha. The Prince of Destruction, Tega Nagaru. With one final wave of energy, the remaining 4 Rangers lose their rings, and the universe as we know it dies.
What else
The
is
universe
new?
is now reset, and Hoero is working at a convenience store, being very rude to the customers. An armed thief tries to rob the store and bites into a popsicle that's too cold, causing him to drop it. Hoero catches it and tries to confront the thief until someone steps in the way. Introducing himself as Mashiro Kumade, he fights off the criminal, pays for everyone's items in the store, and leaves. Before Hoero is able to understand what happened, a small robotic bear called Kuma flies up to him, printing out an invoice for Mashiro's act of heroism. Hoero chases after Mashiro, ripping up the invoice and arguing over the fact he charges for his help. Mashiro then calls him second gen and taps him on the forehead, reinstating all of his memories of the past universe. Remembering everything, Hoero races to the half-century cafe, discovering it doesn't exist anymore.
So what I'm guessing is that with them destroying the universe, they're in a whole different world era timeline, time frame basically, and this person's actually going back and trying to reverse everything.
Worships Sayori instead of Tegasword, Sumino is an all-organic simpleton, Rikuo is a stressed-out student, and Georgie is a regular 87
old man.
Hoero is very confused but discovers his Sentai ring in his pocket. He puts it on his finger, allowing Tegasword to finally communicate with him, appearing to him at a regular height. He explains that somebody must have kept his ring safe from the reset, hence why he still has it. In the No One world, nothing has changed, but everyone is confused as to why Tegajun's world is still imperfect. But before they get answers, Tegajun orders them to locate the prince and bring him to the castle. Kwon says that they'll also need the prince's Sentai ring, and Bouquet takes it upon himself to do so. Back in the real world, Tegasword explains to Hoero that Tegajun's plan required all Sentai rings, but because she rushed it, Teganagaru was born prematurely, and the universe in fact did not die. It just got its coding rewritten. He also says that the only one who can fix it is Teganagaru. All of a sudden, the party people in Treasure...
So this whole thing was a process that they wanted to do was premature, basically.
No ones appear despite their prior destruction. This is another side effect of the universe rewrite, even meaning that these no ones don't have humans captive inside them. Bouquet then arrives.
There's nobodies, basically.
Teganagaru and his ring. As Hoero confronts her, Mashiro appears on a nearby balcony, revealing a Goju Polar Sentai ring. He jumps down, and as Bouquet tries to attack him, Kuma starts attacking her. Mashiro clocks Tegasword, mentioning how he's an old friend and referring to Hoero as second gen once again. When questioned on this, Mashiro reveals that he was Tegasword's pilot during the original Universe War, even being the original Goju Wolf. He then pulls out a henshin device in the image of Teganagaru, inserting his ring and becoming Goju Polar for the first time.
So this is basically this Sixth Ranger, almost?
The No Ones, and Hoero soon joins in, attempting to prove that he isn't just a replacement. They then engage in a 1v1, each fighting a different No One, and Mashiro ends up winning. Teganagaru then spawns from the ground, going on an insane rampage because of how undeveloped he is. He swings down Mashiro, only for him to counter the punch, run up his arm, and vanish. He appears in a snowy void, confronted by Teganagaru trapped in a block of ice. He tells Mashiro he was born to be the Prince of Destruction, but doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. Mashiro then offers him a team-up, saying together they can become gods of their own. He breaks him out of the ice, renaming him to Godaburn, because Prince of Destruction Teganagaru is too long of a name. They then join forces, and Mashiro becomes Godaburn's official pilot, sending a wave of energy out into the world, repairing the world around him. Bouquet retreats, and Fire Candle enters in King Candela, adamant to bring Godaburn back with him. They fight it out, showcasing Mashiro and Godaburn's boxing technique. Hoero is still fighting party people number 1 on the ground when the rest of the team show up, reverted back to their normal state, seemingly
must
after
be
Godaburn
nice.
was restored. However, they don't recall anything from their altered life. Mashiro defeats King Candela, and the 5 GoZyugers all use their finishing strike to defeat party people. They regroup with Mashiro, who once again gives them an insane bill for his services, which Hoero rips up again. Hoero
250
should join them now as a GoZyuger, but he assures them his dream will come true, but not under the law of Tegasword. He says he answers to no one, and that he himself will become a god of his own. He reveals that he now has the Ninja Sentai ring instead of Hoero, as it floats up and turns blue, representing Mashiro's new ownership of it. The team are at the cafe while Kinjiro and Sumino show off their newly acquired Sentai rings. Sumino has Go Ranger and Kinjiro has Kira Major. Aoi walks in and Hoero pulls a funny face at him, though he seems sad and walks away. Sayori then explains that his school sports day is coming up, but he hates sports day and doesn't want to take part. She also heard rumours of someone
like sports day,
which is worrying her. Aoi sits on a bench outside when Mashiro and Kuma find him and ask what's wrong, introducing themselves as gods. Aoi says he hates sports day because he can't run very fast and asks if this so-called god can make him faster.
I wish I can run at all, I'm just saying. The only times I run if I'm running from my ex-girlfriend or if I'm running to the fridge for some food.
Sudden, Undokai number 1 appears, a cheater-inspired no one who says he is the Sports Day vandalizer. He then uses his powers to turn the park into his sports yard and summons the other GoZyugers, now dressed in colour-coded tracksuits.
Why not?
Undokai number 1 introduces himself and asks the GoZyugers to compete against him in a sports-themed battle. The referee is an Ari general called GoZyuger, and he announces the Sports Day number 1 battle, and the challenge begins. They go through a series of challenges, all being won by the no one, suggesting the cheater may be a cheater. At Bryden Castle, Tegajun confirms to her
Listen, if the monster is called Cheater, what do you think?
was that without all the rings her plan failed, and she will wait until she has all of them in future.
Wow, what a
Encouraging the team
smart
to keep
person.
going and assist the no one. They take a break and Sumino asks Mashiro how old he is, at which he replies saying he's either 26 years old or 10,026 years old. He explains that after the original Universe War, he too was a statue at the mech graveyard. It wasn't until the universe got rewritten that the handheld version of Gooderburn broke him free. He then realised that the world was still imperfect and set out on his mission to become a god and fix it. One of the challenges is a 3-legged race in which Rikuo and Hoeru take part in. Hoeru is really enjoying himself, and when questioned about it, he says that when he was trapped in the no one world, he never got to partake in sports days, so he wants to go all in. Rikuo empathises with him, and they assist each other in henching and racing to the finish line. But the no one still wins under a technicality, making Mashiro realise it's a fixed competition and has an idea. The final challenge...
Well, if the thing is called cheating, they're going to find a way to cheat to make sure the villain will win. By the way, Sports Day is one of those things. Comment below, guys. Should we do a Sports Day kind of video for this channel? I don't know what. You guys comment below. What sports should I do for Sports Day?
Chicken fight, prompting Mashiro to henshin and partner
Ooh,
with
chicken
Ari.
fight! I love chicken
Ari
fight.
gets on Mashiro's back, and before they start, he tells Ari that even though he doesn't like Sports Day, life moves by quicker than you think, and he should enjoy every moment. They then
True.
enter the fight, with Ari snatching the ribbon from the Ari's head. Mashiro then tells Ari to get to cover, and he'll finish the job. He goes to chat with the referee while the others henshin. Mashiro then returns and jumps on Hoeru's back with Rikuo and Ryugi supporting him. Kinjiro then uses the Kira Major powers to draw 2 clones of GoZyuger, having them help support him in carrying Sumino, with both sides entering the chicken fight. Mashiro then snatches the no one's ribbon, claiming victory. When the no one calls him out for potentially cheating, the Ari general turns on him, revealing that earlier on Mashiro counter-bribed him in favour of the Rangers.
Ooh,
This upsets
plot
the no one,
twist.
but Mashiro soon ends things with his finisher. This reveals a child that was possessed, and Mashiro tells Aoi to help him take cover. Bouquet shows up in calendars but realises she's too late. She questions Lugo, and they say they will continue in the no one's legacy, calling on Aeza, Ribbon, Bush, and orchestrating a sports day race between Calendas and Gooderburn. They end up encountering 2 hollow walls, one being the finish line and the other leading to a pool of mud. Gooderburn
This
ends up
is
winning
Fall
the race
Guy.
as Calendas ends up getting covered in the mud. Mashiro and
Shocking.
Gooderburn use their finisher, destroying both GoZyuger and his mech. Once the battle is over, the boy who was captured said he was training for sports day when everything kicked off. This is when Aoi decides to train with him so they can both have fun doing it, bringing a new lease of life into Aoi's relationship with Sports Day. Kuma then tries to charge Aoi 5 million yen for their services, but they run off. Mashiro then grabs Kuma, ripping up the invoice himself and saying not everything they do has to be for a price. Sumino arrives at the cafe as the...
I feel like that Polar Bear has a good relation to Ted DiBiase because everyone has a price. Sorry, I had to fit that theme. It was already in my head.
glows purple. Rikuo and Ryugi are looking at something in the garden, only to find a deceased golden Ari. Hoeru and Kinjiro join them, and Sumino, being a detective, starts to suspect foul play amongst them. This is when Mystery Number 1 walks in, challenging the team to solve the murder. Ryugi tries
it's
to
like
leave,
Clue.
but soon realizes the glow we saw was a spell that stops people leaving. When the case is solved, then they'll be free. Sumino and Mystery Number 1 go head to head in the versus battle, just as Mashiro smashes in through the ceiling. He claims their true saviour has arrived, declaring Sumino to be nothing but a young lady and a poor detective. Kuma appears from behind the counter to back this claim, which sets fire in Sumino, claiming she'll show all what she's made of. At the mech graveyard, Tegasol questions Gooderburn as to why he partnered with Mashiro, begging him to stay on his toes around him. Gooderburn insists his ring chose correctly, resulting in an argument between the two. At the cafe, Sumino and Mashiro decide to put the Rangers in a hot seat, interviewing them about what they've been doing all day. Hoeru was working on his CV, Kinjiro was playing darts, Rikuo was live streaming, and Ryugi was writing a new Tegasword hymn. They still all have a reason to be a suspect, and Kinjiro leaves in a panic that he'll be targeted next. The team follows him out, finding him unresponsive on the floor. As the plot
He's
thickens,
dead.
Fire Candle is spotted in the garden holding a memorial for the Ari, Pat Kaiser. Ryugi is now sus of Fire Candle's appearance, dragging him into the interrogation room. When the rest of the team walk in, they're both victims of the same attack. Ryugi has bled a little, allowing him to write something out before clocking out.
72.
They believe it reads the number 72, making them believe it could be Kinjiro due to his age. Sumino then says he's 87, followed by the observation that this is actually the word Kuma in katakana. This then points all eyes to Mashiro. He denies it right before Hoero and Rikuo are struck down from poison. Sumino then finds the bottle, seeing small paw prints up the side. It's at this point she's able to solve the mystery that Bear Kuma is the murderer, having randomly appeared from behind the counter earlier on and having not been seen around before each murder took place. Kuma confesses, saying that before Mashiro activated him, he was nothing but a mere toy. He wanted to take out the GoZyugers in order to repay Mashiro with the Sentai rings. Mashiro then tells him they don't play foul and everything must be fair. Sumino then wins the detective battle, lifting the spell and bringing all of her friends back to life, including Fire Candle and Pat Kaiser, who have a heartwarming reunion.
Aww, that's
can't
cute.
accept his loss, challenging the team further into battle. Sumino takes the lead as they all hench. The guys take on the Ari, with Mashiro even helping because of how impressed he was with Sumino's skills. Sumino takes on the
Okay, now he's
needing to
impressed.
solve the mystery on his being. She assesses the design, realizing that in order to defeat him, she must recreate the exact crime scene.
Seems like what they're doing is that some of these episodes reflect on the individuality of each of these rangers. Like, this one's more a mystery, reflects on her because of her background.
Transforms into Go on Red and summons Go Roller GT, acting
RPM.
as the single object needed in the crime scene. The No One falls to the ground, finalizing the crime scene and giving Sumino the win. Tegasol and Gooderburn then arrive, prepared to fight with each other. Mashiro pilots Gooderburn, combining him with the now giant Bear Kuma. Sumino forms Tegasol Black in rush mode. They fight each other before Hoero swaps with Sumino and forms Deca Claw. But before they can fight, a blast of lightning strikes down, marking the return of Black Daijujin. Daijujin then summons the power of Enjino, Gao King, and Shinkano, creating Universe Daijujin, an amalgamation of all four mechs.
So it's RPM, Wild Force, and Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Megazord into one. That actually gained my interest.
Charges its sword, striking down on them with mighty power. Universe Daijujin is far too strong for the Rangers, forcing them to retreat. We see that Quan is piloting the mech, and Dark Decaliber is how the mechs were cloned and merged.
Oh, of course.
Sometime later, Hoero is working at a honey store and can't stop thinking about the amalgam mech. Mashiro then walks in, calls him second gen again, and asks what he recommends. Hoero gives him attitude, so Mashiro purposely questions him on his wish, knowing he doesn't have one because of what the mysterious lady told him many years ago. As a reminder, having a wish means the ability to be possessed by no ones. Mashiro then gets Hoero fired for being such a rude employee. As he walks home, he hears someone calling out to him. It's the voice of Mine Takanashi, the same lady from all those years ago. Hoero brings her to the cafe, over the moon that he's found her again. Mine tells Hoero
she's manipulating him,
to Earth, followed by calling Hoero handsome. The team are watching this unfold, believing them to be interested in each other. They want to help him make a move, but do nothing but make things awkward. Mina then offers Hoero a date.
Story of my life.
Sumino holding the title of #1 busybody, they follow after them. Meanwhile, Mashiro is eating honey with Kuma when Quan tries to attack him. Mashiro catches Dr. Caliber between his fingers before confronting Quan on the Daijujin amalgam. Quan asks Mashiro to stop hunting the rings, which of course he refuses. Hoero and Mina try to figure out a date idea, landing on a game of badminton. The team are once again stalking, with Kinjiro using his #1 party people title to try and spice things up. Failing, of course. They then go out for dessert, where Hoero carelessly drinks some matcha. Ryugi holds the title of Manners #1, so he intervenes. They relocate, reminiscing about the time they first met. Albeit a bleak time, they found comfort in each other. Once again, the team arrive, and this time with Rikuo as #1 Heart Pounder. He holds up a series of lines for Hoero to say, but he gets uncomfortable and runs off with Minna.
Oh, how rude.
Tensions are growing between him and Quan, resulting in them both henching and fighting it out. In the process, Quan drops his Geki Ranger ring and Mashiro drops his Ninja ring. They pick up each other's, converting the colours and keeping them. Mashiro says that stealing from a god is risky, but Quan says he has no gods, only angels, as we see a flash of Hoero, followed by Quan saying soon to be fallen angels. Hoero has taken Minna to the beach.
Sounds like another anime I watch.
With the team watching, but Minna says it's great how he has such caring friends. They finally sit down for some lunch, to the team of course not far behind.
Ooh, that's a great bento box.
Laughing. Then Minna gets up to say something to Hoero, when she gets shot straight through the stomach, falling to the ground. Hoero runs to her and the other Rangers discover Quan. Even Mashiro shows up saying how sickening this is. It's here that Kwon
That's a
reveals
dick
that the real
move.
Minna was killed in the No One world long ago. Her wish was to see Hoero again, granting her a temporary second life. He taunts Hoero as the team charges in and begins to fight with him. Whilst in Hoero's arms, Minna says she knew she didn't have long left and wanted to tell Hoero something very important. Many years ago, when she told him not to have a wish, it was just to protect him at the time. But now that he's back in the human world and is doing okay, she begs him to find a wish, making him promise her before she
Make your
passes
damn
away
wish,
for good.
boy.
Mashiro joins Hoero, referring to him as second gen again, and saying if he follows Mashiro, they can defeat Kwon. Hoero gets up, eats all the food from the picnic before telling Mashiro he prays to no god and will create his own way, not conforming to being second gen. And Mashiro high-key respects it, telling Kuma that Tiger Sword chose him for a reason. Before GoZyuger
It's kind of funny to say the least now. The fact is, like, before I go fight, I need to eat this box of food.
fighting Kwon when he spawns Goggle Red, 5 Red, and Red Turbo.
Oh, that's a
Hoero
lot of
arrives, and
reds.
Despite fighting the AI Rangers, the team all stop to check if Hoero is okay after what happened, proving how much they've bonded over time. Hoero
Aww.
Henshin's taking on Kwon directly. Kwon is still as strong as ever, but Hoero's will to fight is only getting stronger. He wails on Kwon with Wolf Caliber, and the team manage to destroy the AI Rangers. Kwon then summons Universe Daijujin and Hoero summons Tiger Sword Red. It then starts snowing as Mashiro and Goodaburn appear with an umbrella to block the snow. Mashiro says if Hoero doesn't pray to a god, then Mashiro at least wants to help him voluntarily. As does
Voluntarily.
Goodaburn and Tegasword. Both mechs step forward, officially combining with each other to form Tegasword Whiteburn. Kwon charges in immediately, but the new combination walks through their strikes like it's nothing, firing back at Daijujin, not letting Kwon get to them anymore. Kwon gears up to fire all the mechas at once, as Hoero says he's number one at having a broken heart, followed by him and Mashiro charging their Tegasword Heartbreaker strike, overpowering Kwon and destroying Universe Daijujin once and for all.
Oh, that's
Later
nice.
that night, Hoero is sat alone in the cafe, mourning the loss of Minna. Mashiro comes to check on him, trying to comfort him, but still calling him second gen. This sparks some playful fighting between the two, witnessing the start of an all-new friendship. Thank you so much for watching, and join me in a few months where we'll recap round 3 of GoZyuger. I want to give a huge thanks to Sarah Jane, our Super Dynamo patron, and if you want to become a patron today to see videos like this ad-free and early, then click the first link in the description.
Well, that's actually kind of interesting. Hold on. This video was made 5 months ago. In a couple months. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on this until round 3 comes up, guys. So, otherwise, we'll go more into looking more stuff for Film Form Studio with this guy. I'm actually getting intrigued by him, but otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. Comment below you want to see more of this channel. Subscribe. You guys know what to do at this point. So, thank you for watching. This is Michael, signing out.